Hi, everybody. Okay, so this is an email that came in at 5:59 p.m. tonight. So we're going to review this quickly. And sorry, today is April 20th, 2023. This is after the phone call with Owen Johnson and the kids. And um, I noticed that I have this email. So we're going to go over it. So it's from TDS Law. It's from Madison Parker. I don't see Alexandra Cola's name on it this time, which is interesting. But it says, it has come to our attention that you once again are posting details about the family matters and the children online. You've been asked multiple times by the court, counsel, and Mr. Johnson to stop posting these details because it's harmful for the children. Well, if I had a lawyer, I wouldn't need to. If I had a lawyer that would actually represent me, and if I could have a fair trial, then I wouldn't need to. But there is no other recourse for me, so this is what I'm doing. Is it harmful for the children? No, not at this point. I'm being very cautious to um not post anything that is extremely that is harmful. I mean, as they grow older, they do have the right to the truth. And Owen said in past email that he is monitoring their correspondence and what sites they visit and everything else. So realistically, if he doesn't want them to see this, they won't see it. But as they get older, as they mature, they will find this online. And at that point, they will know the truth and they have the right to the truth. Okay, so going forward, or continuing, it is even more concerning that you have uploaded video and phone conversations of Ashley and Alex online. This is extremely inappropriate and unacceptable behavior. Well, I can see where you might think that, considering that it shows a bunch of things that are concerning in regards to the children being over at Owen Johnson's place and him not doing things with them, the way he talks to me, the way he treats me, the way he refuses to allow me to see the kids. All these things, I can understand why you might not want this to go public. I'm sure you'd rather brush it under the rug and hope that I just go away, but that isn't going to happen. I'm going to continue to advocate for myself and my kids using whatever means that are at my disposal. Ideally, I would love to get a lawyer and then I wouldn't be posting anymore. But that is not the case. I mean, when Mr. Johnston represented me, I didn't post. Now, I didn't know that he was hmm, I'm going to be very careful about what I say about that one, but um given his last interaction with me on how he said that if I didn't give Owen Johnson sole custody, that he would withdraw from being my lawyer. Well, um, I would have to say that he wasn't representing me because that was not what he was hired for. He was hired to represent me to ensure that I um, was treated fairly, and I was not. And we will be going over that in the chapters as well. But, each time I had a lawyer, I didn't post online. At least I don't think I did. I know I didn't with him. I know for sure I didn't with him. But I'm pretty sure I didn't with the other ones either. However, every single time I'm self represented, I post. Now, it's interesting because you would think that the courts and Miss Aquila and Madison Parker would pick up on that. But yet they don't seem to. Like they have made it a mission, it seems, to make it impossible for me to get legal counsel, making it impossible for me to get a fair trial, making it possible for any kind of fairness within the court system. And then it seems like they're crying because I'm speaking out. Hello, I'm a social worker. That is what I do. I advocate. Like, that is me. Anyways, um, let's go back to this. It says, um, as you are well aware, it is damaging for the children to be made aware of issues related to custody, access, and court. Okay, so don't show them these videos until they're older. That's what they're meant for. They're meant for as they get older so that they know the truth. During the conversations with Ashley, you repeatedly blamed the lack of supervisor on Owen Johnson. On Mr. Johnson, it says. You told Ashley that the reason you cannot see them is because Mr. Johnson won't let you. And you told them that he is supposed to help you and he is not. Not only are these statements incorrect, but these kinds of disparaging comments are damaging and confusing for young children. Okay, so let's stop there and go to the final order. Okay, so this is the final order. And I'm gonna let the I'm gonna sit with this for a few minutes on the screen so that everybody can read it. And just so you know, it will be posted on my other site as well. So single parenting manitoba.com /documents. You'll find it there. Oops. So that's the full document. So the part that we want to look for is um, the part about the supervisor. Hang on a second. Let me just find it here. So it says here, pursuant to the Manitoba Family Maintenance Act, we're going to jump down to 6.2 because that's where it states Susan Francine Mayaska shall have access to Alex Frank Johnson, born November 14, 2015, and Ashley Veronica Johnson, born July 10, 2017, at the following times and subject to the following conditions. Susan Francine Mayaska shall have supervised access of Alex Frank Johnson, born November 14, 2015, and Ashley Veronica Johnson, born July 10, 2017, for one period of 6 hours falling either Saturday or Sunday each week as parties may agree. All visits shall be supervised by Audrey Philippe or other supervisor approved by Child and Family Services or Owen William Johnson. All visits shall be take place in a public place or other location that is agreed upon by both parties. So nowhere in there does it state that I am responsible to find the supervisor. In fact, it indicates the exact opposite. It says, where is it? I just had it. All visits shall be supervised by Audrey Philippe or any other supervisor approved by Child and Family Services or Owen Johnson, meaning he is in control of the supervisor, meaning that yes, I can suggest a supervisor, but he is responsible for it. Now, okay, so let's jump back to the letter. So keep in mind, I have not had visitation with the kids since November 5th, 2022, because Owen Johnson has refused to look into everybody that I have suggested. He has also refused to make suggestions in regards to supervisors, with the exception of the one agency that would cost me $300 a visit. He has suggested that I cut down my time with the kids from 6 hours to 2 hours so that I could have visits at the Access Center, which, again, denies me time with the kids, violates a court order. And then he also, he could supervise the visits, but he's also refusing that as well. So he is essentially kidnapping the kids and denying them access to me. Now this part here, I almost laughed when I read it. Okay? So it says, "You've taken for the sake of the children program and have an education in social work. As such, you are acutely aware of the harm it causes children to be put in the middle of family disputes and to be spoken about in negative feelings and opinions their parents have towards each other." Okay. Now, this email came on the heels of Owen talking down to me in front of the children. For the sake of the children also indicate the harm it does to withhold children from the other parent. Yet that is not even remotely included in this email. Also interesting is she acknowledges the fact that I am a social worker. She acknowledges the fact that I'm acutely aware of the harm certain things can cause children. And yet, I am working as a social worker with children and youth and being denied access to my own children. Think about that for a minute. The Manitoba government has refused me access to my own children, meanwhile allowing me to work with children and youth. And his lawyer recognizes the fact that I'm a social worker, recognizes the fact that I'm acutely aware of certain things can cause harm, recognizes the fact that I am competent to understand and to apply certain things, and yet I'm being denied access to my children. Why? I have never caused them any sort of harm. I've got a parental assessment from Family Dynamics stating that I'm a good mom, that the school, that the daycare never had any issues with me. I had the kids in variety of different activities, never one complaint. So why are my children being denied? Okay, let's move on. In future, please refrain from involving the children in these issues. When you speak to the children in conversations, the conversation should be child focused and exclude details about legal issues. Okay. Now, it's interesting because I'm not the one who brought up the legal issues. It was actually Owen. You listen to the phone message, and I did say, talk to daddy. Tell him you want to see me, because they were saying that they were missing me. So I said, well, talk to daddy and tell him you want to see me. I didn't see anything wrong with that. Anyways, that's when he got hostile at me. And you could hear it in his tone. You could hear it, and that was right in front of the kids. I didn't mention anything about legal issues in that that phone conversation, and I haven't mentioned anything in about legal issues. I don't think. I just made sure that they knew that I wanted to see them. It was not me who was denying them coming to see me. I have been trying to see them. And yes, I did make them aware of that, because I don't want them to think that their mother abandoned them, because that is exactly what they're going to think if if I don't acknowledge anything. Like if Owen doesn't say anything to them about keeping them away from me, and I don't say, well, I'm not being allowed to see you. Not that I don't want to see them, because I want to see them. But if they don't know that I'm not being allowed to see them, they're going to think that I abandoned them. And that's not right. So, the next paragraph, to reiterate once again, Mr. Johnson has never restricted your access to the children. He is simply asking you to find a supervisor pursuant to the final order. Mr. Johnson does not have anyone he can suggest as a potential supervisor. Please provide a viable supervisor for Mr. Johnson to consider so that your time with the children may resume as soon as possible. Well, I've already given him a few names. He has rejected every single one of them. I have no one else to give him. Um, I'm sure he could get somebody. He's choosing not to. He hasn't suggested one person where I have suggested multiple. Um, and in regards to him restricting access, yeah, he is. He is choosing not to supervise himself. So because he could be a supervisor as well, but he is choosing not to. So yes, he is restricting access. This letter is incredibly inaccurate, and um, again, never once in the final order does it say that I am solely responsible for finding the supervisor. You would think parents would be able to work together to resolve that, right? But this goes back to what happened in triage in, I think it was um, triage in 2020. I think I got to look back at the documents, but where he says in a court document he is refusing mediation. Well, part of parenting is being able to work with the other party. And when one party is saying, no, it's all on you, and if you don't do what I say, then you just don't get to see the kids, which is exactly what is happening. But that is not what the order said. And that is super important. Never once in that order. And you guys can go back and look at it. I went slowly through it so that you guys can take a look at it, and it'll be up on the my website as well, singleparentingmanitoba.com/documents. Never once in it does it state that I am responsible for finding the supervisor. What it does state is that I should be allowed weekly visits with the children, which are not happening. They are not happening because Owen Johnson is denying me that. Anyways, Madison Parker, that's an interesting email, and I'm sure I'm sure I will hear more back from you in the next little while. Have a good night, everyone. Well, for me, it's night. I guess when I post this, it'll be daytime, and there'll probably be more tomorrow. But I'm also hoping to get the first part of the legal documents online as of tonight. So chapter 3 or or I think it's 4 now. Chapter 4 should be up tonight. Thanks. Have a good night.